Hey,
Yeah, we back. What's going on, everybody? Been a little minute. Minor League Films. We're back at it. Talk a little spoiler talk. We've been gone for a while, Scotty, man. How have you been?
I'm pretty good. Living the good life. How about you? In Manassas?
Good, man. Been on TikTok a bunch. So if you're not hip, our TikTok Minor League Films, we've been over there. We're putting out more content than we do here, but a lot of episode reviews and things like that. So make sure you check that out. We got our at the bottom. I hope it's the other way. It's always bad. The backwards camera always gets me. At the bottom left, we got our TikTok, YouTube, and then we also do shorts. So it's mainly what we're focusing on. So check those out. But a lot of good content coming out. It's a good time for movies right now. We just got through Halloween. Hit a little horror movie segment. I know you did some shorts, some Halloween shorts. How was that?
Quick question. It's off topic. Everybody watching this, I want you to comment. Should he get dreads?
Bro, just stop with that.
No, listen, this is important. The people need to weigh in on this because he told me he can't get dreads. I think he can.
That's not what I said. I said I will never get dreads.
Which is the same thing as you can't.
No, it means I'm not.
Well, you could try. I think you look good with dreads. But what were you saying?
Yeah, we will never know. But yeah, man, TikTok, YouTube is mainly where we're at right now, and minor league films you see below. Same ad everywhere. But yeah, man, it's been a good time for movies. I know you did some Halloween shorts, some horror shorts. Anything good people need to check out?
There's a guy I've been following that does a lot of shorts on YouTube. He did this thing with called the crawl space. We look up the crawl space on YouTube. The shorts are only like 4 minutes long. Each one of them has been great. He even hit a short with a girl that was in an Uber. There's an Uber killer, crawl space killer. He even had a lady that was making wooden dolls, not wooden dolls, you know, the popsicle sticks.
Yeah.
From back in the day, she was making dolls out of them, and the dolls would come to life and get mad at her for not drawing the faces right. Stuff like that. That's kind of creative.
Yeah. No, that sounds cool. I'll definitely send some over. I definitely need to check that out. I've been watching, Gen V. I thought it was great. I thought it was a really good series, and
I liked it.
Yeah, definitely like the characters a lot better than the boys. So we'll probably jump into that on another show. But that's been good. Invincible is back out. I've been waiting for that for a while. I know you were less excited for it than I was, but the first episode was super solid, and obviously low key's out. So a lot of stuff, a lot of some reviews going out. But since we were on the topic of horror, Scotty, there's a movie we need to talk about. It's been out for a little bit. It dropped in theaters and also on Peacock, so I saw it on Peacock when it dropped. But box office wise, it's really done
great.
Critically, it's a little bit of some people like it, some people don't. But you gotta come to the experts. We're the experts, so we gotta weigh in with our little opinion there. And that's Five Nights at Freddy. So we will jump into that in a minute. But Scott, you got anything else when we jump into it?
This is a movie based off of a game, and I played. There's I think it's 5 or 6 games. I played 4 of the games. Yeah. Short little indie thing. Five Nights at Freddy is a short indie game. You can beat the game in like an hour if you want to do everything. And I'm gonna be honest with you, no hate to the game community. The game was shit, so I expected the movie to be shit, or it was just simple. Whenever the game is too simple, I'm like, don't make a movie out of this, and it did it anyway. In spite of me. They did it anyway.
Yeah, well, I myself was actually I've heard of the game, I've never played it. I'm not a big video game person. I'll play a couple here and there. But when I saw the trailer for this, man, I got excited. I was like, okay, I've heard so much about the game. I heard so much about the horror elements in there and how it can scare the shit out of you sometimes if you're not really paying attention. So yeah, I'm ready. I was ready to jump into it and see this movie. And I saw the movie. So go ahead and you run the trailer and then we'll talk about it.
Let's see this trailer. Lord, I warn you, it's a little rough.
All right, go ahead and full screen that. Beating the hell out of that place.
I have a job for you. Piece of cake, really. It's a security gig.
Hello? Welcome to Freddy's. Have you met them yet?
Met who?
Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy. Back in the 80s. Some kids went missing.
What is this?
That's why the place shut down. The police searched Freddy's. Hey! They never found the kids. What the
What's she doing that for?
Bro, that
Ghost children possessing giant robots. Tell me how to stop them.
You don't. It's too late. He's coming.
well, there you have it. That was the Chef Friday. So Scott, this is how I kind of want to break this down, right? We haven't done a regular review. This is more of a spoiler talk because it's been out for a while. So the first thing I want to do is get our overall impressions of the movie. We'll hop into the spoiler stuff and stuff we really liked or really didn't like. And then at the end, I kind of want to play like how we would fix this movie if this was presented to us and they're like, what should we do with it before we
I wouldn't have made it.
Okay, but if you had to make it and the gun to your head, you don't have a choice. And no, you can't die either. So you had no options. If you had to make it, what would you fix?
I can't die. I get injured multiple times.
Yeah, and still fix the movie. So it's kind of how I want to do it. So let's jump into obviously Final Visit Freddy's. We know security guard gets this gig. He has to have this job, and I like to open at that of like they're kind of like he has no choice but to go work for this job, so he needs to be in this situation. And who plays that actor, by the way? You're better with
That's
that.
Josh Hutcherson. He was in Hunger Games, probably his biggest movie when he played Peter. Horrible character. He has a knack for playing horrible characters. He played Peter. He played the bully of a brother in Zathura, which is like the Jumanji-esque kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
Journey with The Rock was like Journey to Witch Mountain. I think he played the same character in both movies. He was okay. I mean, the actors were okay, except for that cop. Like his character was Mike Schmidt, and his whole thing was he keeps having this reoccurring dream because when he was a child, when he was like 10, his brother went missing. Like someone kidnapped his brother, like on a camping trip. And this kidnapper was bold as hell because the whole family's on the camping.
It's really good.
The brother's only 50 feet away, and the kidnapper's like, oh, prime time. Everybody's awake. Prime time to kidnap him. Kidnaps him. That's it. Parents died, of course, and now he's watching his little sister for the rest of his life.
Yeah, so we so background into the character, but we open with him and basically what he needs to do is he gets fired from one job for some PTSD that he has, and he beats the hell out of one guy who just didn't deserve it, and then he has to hold this job down or he's at risk of losing his little sister who he's taking care of. So it's kind of backs against the wall there. So that's kind of why he takes the job. Scott, you can go into full screen us back. But yeah,
here, baby.
Yeah. So that's kind of why he takes that job and kind of gets this job. And of course, this old shut down place where why they even need a security guard is the first question that popped in my head. But because what if people go break in and do like obviously we've seen the trailer, people are messing up the place for a legitimate reason. But in general, there'd be no reason for anybody to actually have to guard this place. But he take this job at this place, and every security guard they have, as he knows, gets ran out or doesn't hold the job for too long. So he has to take the job to take care of his sister, and then we kind of go from there. And we know weird events and calamity ensues. So 100%, man. Scott, get out the comments. Anyway, so that's kind of the base on the movie. He has to hold down this job, things like that. So we get overall impressions, man. Obviously you played the game. I haven't, so I will ask you first. Overall thoughts of one, this storyline, two, these characters, and three, this overall movie.
I liked. You know what? I can't even say that. I like the main character, and I like Matthew Lillard, who was playing the main security guard boss, and was also playing the villain of the movie. It's spoiler review, sorry, but he's playing the main villain of the movie. They acted really well with what they were given, and they weren't given much.
Mm-hmm.
But Matthew Lillard came out. He showed out, because when he came out there as the main villain in that costume, I said, "Oh!" Even the way he was walking, I said, "Oh, okay, this guy's deranged." I like that. So, the game, like I said, I'm not a big fan of indie horror games. I will play them. I like being scared. Horror is my favorite kind of genre. But after this first game, maybe the second game, for me, it got stale. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm a security guard. It starts to not make sense, because when I get to this second or third night, oh, obviously something's going on. I'm watching this rundown place. First of all, how much are they getting paid? I've never seen an amount how much they get paid for this. Because you asked me to watch something like that, after I lock the door and put a chair underneath the door and never sleep and take all kind of caffeine pills and whatnot, I need to me making like a good $40 an hour. $40 an hour, I'll watch it. I'll watch that place for a year, and I'll just bring a gun. He didn't have no gun. His flashlight barely worked. He didn't even have a badge. He didn't have a badge until until Elizabeth Laird came in there and found a badge for him, which is the first spooky thing. I said, what she found out? Watch, I know what the badge is at.
Oh my God.
And that's Elizabeth Laird plays the cop that should never be there. She played I forgot her name, but she played the main character in You.
Guinevere. She was Guinevere Beck.
Guinevere Beck in You. Yeah.
Who I think she's a good actor, man. They just, and this is a little bit into the script a little bit, they just don't give her character any sort of chance. And when you actually think about, like, her acting is fine, but the way her character is, they didn't give her any opportunity here. Her character is one of the most ridiculous characters I think I've seen in a movie in a long time, as it goes into making sense why she's there and who she is. So it's absolutely ridiculous. But continuing on, so you started with that. My initial thoughts of this movie is the acting is good. It's very solid. Matthew Lillard, I didn't even recognize him later in the movie, and then when I did, I was like, oh, okay, like it makes a little more sense now.
Yep.
And he looks so much different than the last time I see him. I mean, I haven't seen him in a little while. So I forget, honestly, the last movie I've seen him in. But once I recognized him, I'm like, oh, okay, now I knew who this is. But I thought the acting was fairly good, man, even down to the little girl. I think the only people who aren't really good in here is the people who have to act so over the top to kind of add layers to this movie, like the aunt and different things like that. So I thought it was solid. But the storyline here is so crazy and so ridiculous, and just starts to not make sense, that I think it layers this movie down. And before we kind of hop into the spoiler stuff we really didn't like, if I had to grade this movie, man, shit, man, this has to be like a strikeout for me overall in what the movie would be. I don't think it accomplished maybe anything it really set out to. And like we said, we've been on TikTok. Some people who are fans,
they love it.
They'll say like, oh, this was good, but I'm like, bro, like,
what's funny is
you had this talk. Let's say me and you had this talk about video games and movies, and bringing a video game to movie, and obviously bringing that stuff across. When you do that, and you take it's two different properties. For one, a video game is a video game. You're actively playing that game. You're solving things. You're going through levels. Like, it's very interactive for you. On the movie side, it's not interactive. You're sitting down, you see a story, and you just go with it. If you do not adapt that video game into a movie format, it does not work. In this movie, I felt like they didn't do that at all. I don't know your thoughts on it, so you can let me know. But I felt like with this story, I'm just like, this doesn't make me have any interest in the game at all. And right. I feel like it failed on that point.
And you know how I feel about video game movies is some of them should not be made at all. Yeah. And this is one of the ones that I think should not have been made. Maybe they could have made it a series. If it's Five Nights at Freddy, you could have probably made it a 5-episode series, in all honesty. And maybe took out some things. Like, first of all, take out the whole, I'm having this reoccurring dream about my brother. We don't care. We don't care. You're probably crazy. Go seek some therapy. Take out the evil aunt that's evil for no reason. Take out the people that are willing to risk 10 years jail time for $1,000, and they're not on crack. They look like they're on crack or heroin, but they're not on any kind of drugs. none of that made any kind of sense to me at all. And the thing is, most video games don't have to make sense. Let's for instance, let's say you did a God of War video game. Nothing in that movie has to make sense because everybody is powered up. Everybody has crappy dialogue anyway in the older games. Excuse me. And then
well, we saw one of the movies, and if you remember it, we saw this a while ago. Warcraft.
Warcraft was great.
Yeah, we went and seen that in theater. Warcraft probably has. I haven't played Warcraft in so long, but I would guess it has a minimal to, if at all, storyline other than go and blow shit up.
Well, no, it does have a storyline. Hold on now.
Okay, go ahead, because you'll know better than I will.
People are still playing that game. People have like 400 hours in that game or more. It has a storyline. And some of the storyline was touched on in the movie. They're still updating that game to this day. But the movie was great. Like, I know a lot of people that hadn't played it didn't like it that much. And there were some things left to be desired. But that movie, the video game movie, was good. Like, I was entertained the whole time. Entertained. The dialogue wasn't stupid. The action wasn't stupid. I like the characters. And that's a game they can make 1,000 movies off of. Just like, what is it? What's the video game that she'll know? I don't want to say Star Fox, but that's one of the only few games. Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal series.
Good.
We played that. That's one of your favorite games. So we've played that. Yes, it is. We played that. We played the shit out of that when we were kids. And the show came out, and I was like, this ain't reminiscent. When I got to episode 3, I said, wait a minute. I said, if you're a diehard fan, you're going to notice all these people, and the game comes together the show comes together very nicely. This movie, the only thing I think they did well, reminiscent to the games, was the animatronic people.
Yeah, the look.
They did well, but that's not hard to do. Just have them walk slow and kill people.
Well, it's a thing of one, like, okay, we're in a horror movie. Okay, there are certain elements of horror that help you build on top of each other, and the best movies will build up a tension that's there. Like, even a movie that's not really scary, but the Pope's Exorcist that we saw this summer. Pope's Exorcist it's a horror movie. It's not very scary, but there is tension all the way through because you are worried about these characters that you've been rolling with since the beginning of the movie. Mm-hmm. This movie has no tension. It has no horror. Like, this guy, like, in his Five Nights at Freddy's, I know in the storyline of the game, like, he keeps coming back because he has to every night. But in the sense of a movie, and when you get in the sense of a real world, you're like, ain't no way in the hell you're coming back to this place. Let alone bringing your little sister when you know there's infinite danger. Like, you're doing this for what? $20 an hour? Like, ain't no way.
What I'm saying. How much was he getting paid? Because there's another thing I don't understand. Like, what were his parents doing? Because I'm just assuming that's his parents' house, right? And maybe we might be digging too deep into this movie. We probably are.
We will.
We're probably digging too deep.
We shouldn't, but we will.
Yeah, we're probably going too deep because I'm like, how much money did his parents? Did they work at 7-Eleven as a clerk for $7 an hour? Because when they both died, the mother died, the dad just left.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. The dad left and the mother died. Either way, one parent's still alive, one parent died. There's no insurance money. There's nothing going. They just said, nah. Every month for your insurance, you'll get like $100. Where were they working? Where were his parents working? They have nothing to give him.
I don't know if he was bad with money or he spent it, but they're in a situation where I'm like, okay, y'all have made this in such dire straits that I am questioning how he is working here, affording rent at this place, and feeding himself and his sister. Like, I don't even know how he's doing that with what money he has.
And you know, I was about to say something, but this is also
paying a babysitter that he don't even pay.
But remember, the babysitter was hired by his aunt. So now we have to delve into this, and like I said, we're going too far because how much was the aunt paying the babysitter to babysit her for like what? Probably like months now, right?
Yeah,
maybe even a year, and he wasn't paying her.
Yeah, that part doesn't make sense. But the thing is, him going home, it cuts all the tension of him going back to the place. Also, too, these animatronics, they look the part of what they looked in the game from everything I've seen. Yep. But and in that one scene, it's actually like more of what I thought the movie would be when the guys break into the place, and obviously the animatronics are like, "Oh, you done messed up now." Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be a lot more of that, but we get to later parts of the movie, and they're building a fort, like hanging out, Like,
Well,
I guess they are kids, but it makes them not scary. And you can have those things in there. I guess it fits the storyline, but it makes it really like I have no fear of these animatronics now.
Yeah, it fit their storyline for that movie, but yeah, we didn't necessarily. I guess they put that in there to say that hey, these things aren't necessarily evil. They're kids at heart too, and they're excited that another kid is there. And then we have to get into the worst part of the movie, that cop that she played. Like she plays the daughter of the main villain. And I saw that coming, but I'm like, my thing with her, the character is the dialogue that she had could have been left out because it just made me mad. Because when she at like night 3, maybe night 4, when she's like, "Don't bring your sister back here again." Okay, cool. Don't bring her back here again. You're a cop. I understand that. You don't gotta say that much. But then when they try to kidnap the daughter and kill her so she can be in an animatronic body too, and she knows about it, she's like, "I tried to tell you." No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. The proper way to tell me would be, "Hey, the place is haunted by these kids. I'm crazy. I keep coming back here. Oh, by the way, my dad keeps putting on this old suit from the 50s and he kills kids. All these people are kids he killed." That's a way to tell me don't go there. And I would have called in and said, "Hey, I'm gonna need unemployment because I can't make it to work. I hurt my leg."
Yeah, you fake injury in that place.
She didn't say nothing.
Let me jump into this character a little bit. Like I said, this is one of the worst characters I've seen in film, and I have not seen every $10 movie made, so I'm sure there's some worse out there somewhere. But as far as a high budget production, this character makes zero sense. First of all, she's a cop. Why? When when her dad is out kidnapping, killing, and who knows what else he could be doing to these kids, which is the worst, probably top 3 worst crimes you can do. Yeah. You're a cop. You're okay with that. Like, oh, it's my dad. I got a soft spot for him. Like, no, you don't. Second of all, you run this beat and you have this guy come in here. You're not making him any safe at all. You're telling him like he should quit, and then you're over here throwing some romance at him, trying to make him like hang out, like building his career. Like, no, bro, you're not doing anything on the lines of your job. And you also know that there's some animatronic kids murdered, and their bodies are in the animatronics, which I'm sure their parents are still looking for to this day, but won't mention that. It is
not just that. Not just that though. My another thing is she's been letting him kill kids for years, right? Yeah. For all this time. And let's say she just became a cop. Let's play devil's advocate and say she just became a cop. Her mind obviously is messed up because her dad is like that. She knew that as a child. We all know that you have mental illnesses develop as a child, especially if you see that kind of stuff. Okay, let's say she's crazy.
She is.
Okay, then stay crazy. Don't be crazy. And then when this handsome guy comes up, like, you know what? It's time to change.
Not gonna be crazy no more.
You're telling me no other security guards were
his fine ass to straighten me out. now
that's my problem. Just stay crazy. Stay crazy, or I don't know, man. I feel like her character should have been working like at the local corner store, and then he would just go there every week, and she would tell him something different. Did she go back? Oh well, here's a little bit of information.
Scotty, this would have been the time, and I hate this trope. It is the worst. And the last time I seen it, I forget which movie it is. I'll look it up. But the last time I seen it was god awful. But they needed a mystical Negro in this movie to replace that character.
Well, there were no black people,
trope, but that would have made more sense.
Because a black person would have been like, "Oh, you don't want to go over there."
Yeah, it'd been like a janitor who really doesn't come to work ever. But he's just there, like, I'm just making sure the place is still standing to get my check. But you don't want to do that. There's ghosts in here. Like, I would have accepted that before I accepted this cop.
Like the guy from Barbarian, that homeless guy was trying to save lives. He was still there. I'm like, sir, you should have been homeless about
somewhere else.
Yeah. couple blocks down the road.
Yeah, go a little farther next time. But this character, man, it makes absolutely no sense. And there's clearly there's no other cops in this town. Clearly they don't care about anything going on at this facility because security guards and people are going up missing all around here. No one's investigating it. I would have been like, hey, like you run the beat there, right? You know, the last security guard that we haven't heard from him or his family's looking for him. Like, nope, none of that. We just keep it rolling. Fill the next one in. That character just makes no sense, man.
It wasn't very good, and it's doing really well, and I expect it to do really well because, like I say, it's an indie game, so people didn't expect much from it, and I didn't expect much from it either.
Yeah,
I didn't walk in here taking this movie seriously. Anyway, I just assumed, I said, you know what? It's hard to make 8-foot robots scary. It's really hard because in real life, I might have been like, I can probably escape you. I can probably outrun you. You're too slow. So I can understand that.
Because they can also take Ubers and just go to your house.
You know what? And then I didn't want to talk about that part.
It's like, you really can't.
That dude in that Uber, he needed to check. He needed some money because
you really can't escape him.
When he looked behind him, it was like, oh shit.
Oh, no.
It's every day.
How did he call this Uber to go over there?
You know what?
Like, if we don't talk about this, let's really talk about it. If he did not call Uber, he either called Uber or he walked down the street. Either way, how was he not spotted?
Now, hold on, though. Devil's advocate. The main killer, Matthew Lillard, called the Uber from the Freddy's. Boom. We got that right there.
That's fine. But when you go to pick him up, you would have been like, the hell?
Yeah. Especially when he came in the car and weighed the whole back seat down. I'd have been like, excuse me.
Yeah, what? Like even like with the little girl, I could cut it a little more. It's like this little girl gets in first. It's like, all right, there's something going weird here, but I ain't asking. But just a robot, like, oh hell no, like I'm not picking you up.
Then
it makes no sense. It makes sense.
I'll add something else in here. He don't look like he's scared at all or missing. He look like that's somebody. First of all, driver got this nasty black hoodie on. This kid, when I saw this first
door, he could just open the door and get out.
When I saw this kid and he put his hand back there, but he's still holding the toy, I said, oh, he having a good time in there.
Yeah.
That's a nitpick, but everything about this movie, besides the way Matthew Lillard looked and the acting for the most part, because I might have a different opinion about Elizabeth Blair. I don't think she's a great actor. I don't.
From this movie, I did not feel she was bad. Like I haven't seen her in a lot of. She was really good in You. I honestly, she was so unlikable.
Oh, she was in Once Upon a Time, I think. I think she's in Once Upon a Time or whatever the storybook show was.
Yes.
And she was awful. She was good in You. She was really good in You.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen Once Upon a Time, I don't remember her. But You, I mean, she is a famously unlikable character. And that's credit to actors. Like villains, when villains are really unlikable, I greatly credit the actors. I'm like, you're doing such a great job for me to hate you that much. And she was so unlikable that the serial killer that she's with the entire time, we're rooting for him. And it's like, yo, you gotta get away from her. So that just tells you how good she is in that show. But I mean, I have not seen her in anything. I've seen her in maybe like another one or two things, but I've never thought she was bad. And in this movie, like, I feel the emotion she has is just misdirected. I feel like this character is so misdirected. Like the stuff that we're talking about, that's the problems with this character, has nothing to do with her performance. It has to do with the circumstances surrounding that. We're like, well, if you add this all up, it doesn't make sense. But it's nothing to do with the performance she's putting on screen.
Yeah. So I'm overall on our rating system, I gotta give it a strikeout. Like, because even if the acting from everybody was phenomenal, and it wasn't, but let's say everything was phenomenal, except for the storyline. That storyline took me out of the whole from the scene where he first entered the building. I was taken out of the movie. I was like, yep, time to turn around. No matter how desperate you are, trying to turn around. But he was also taking those sleeping pills. So I'm like, maybe he didn't notice anything. I listen. from when the animatronics started moving crazy, I was like, yeah, time to go. Time to go, buddy. He's like, oh, well, guess I'll come back tonight for my shift.
I mean, I don't blame him for going back the first couple of days because nothing happens. Like,
no, I mean after like
after
his sister was like, when his sister was like, hey, these are my friends, and I would have been like, I'll play nice tonight, but I'm not coming back.
I'm not coming back. Yeah, it's like
he's like my shift. I gotta go back to my shift.
Yeah, who's checking to see if you were even there? Like it's
that too.
Like, it's like really 2 nights at Freddy's because there's only really 2 nights of stuff happening for say, or maybe like 2.5 nights. Yeah. But that's really it. The first couple of nights is not much going on, so I see why he's going back. And like I kind of wanted to jump into this because I know we will famously tear up a movie. And I feel like it's unfair if we don't we'll offer what we do because I know people like it regardless. We've seen people on TikTok who like it, who enjoy the game, whether to each his own. Like if it's bullshit, I'm telling you it's bullshit. But if you like it, and that's all for you. But let's jump into how we would fix this movie. And we do this with superhero movies. We do this with other stuff that we famously did it with Ant-Man, which we wanted to add some stuff, but we thought that movie had a lot of potential. And I feel like this movie had potential here to be a solid horror movie. I don't know if it'll ever been great, but I think it could have been solid. So if I would ask you, what's some of the changes you would make or things you would take out to kind of make this movie run a little smoother, and then I'll add in my comments after.
I take out the aunt completely, unless you have the aunt there with a different attitude. Unless you have the aunt there basically depicted as, hey, I've been helping them because she has so much money. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like that, I've been helping them. The mortgage is paid. Like with all the money she had, she was over there worried about a government check. And it made no sense because I'm like, okay, if you want this kid for a government check when you have all this money to pay these people to vandalize the buildings and stuff, then you honestly could have probably just been helping them. It made no sense. And the government check is that big for her to want it, then he didn't need a job that much. That's a big ass plot hole. So you could have probably taken her out because he was already getting apparently a big enough government check for that little tiny house. So
and there's real reasons. I'll jump in real quick and I'll jump back out. There's real reasons for an aunt to be concerned about the living situation.
Yeah.
Like all the real stuff is there for her to be a nice lady or a sweet lady who's like, look, like I like you, you're my nephew, you're grown, you're taking care of yourself, but this girl is not in the best situation to succeed. So I want to get her there. That's all it took.
That too. That's the second thing. Like if you wanted to have her in there, you could have had that, like her just be concerned and be there for him as like a little tiny side character, maybe 10 minutes of the movie. But having her want the girl for a government check when the government check isn't even paying his bills makes no sense. Like villainous women in movies that are older are supposed to be rich. She did not do that trope at all. They messed that up. I would have taken her out. The reoccurring dream of his brother being kidnapped, where he can talk to people every single night there in the dream, would have taken that out 100%. I would have put in there like he's just learning about the mystery because he keeps seeing different things and different notes. In the game, you got the story. Like you play through the game, don't pay attention, you just beat it. That's fine. You won't get the story, it'll just be scary. If you play through the game and pay attention, there are recordings and they basically explain the whole story through each game. So he could have just found the recordings and that would have actually made it scarier, finding recordings and scary voices and all kind of stuff like that without even the sister, which brings me to my point of didn't need the sister. We didn't need her at all. Like in the game, there's no sister. Like you didn't need the game was so scary. A person that has nobody to rely on is always scarier than somebody that has somebody they 100% trust. Third thing, obviously, the villain having a daughter did not need that at all. Did not need that at all. Their connection wasn't shown anyhow. So I don't really care because I'm like, if you really cared to stop your father, you could have went to his job when he's at the desk. You could have been like, hey, Mike, my dad works at 1414 Albuquerque Lane. Just go shoot him in the face or call the cops on him. Wait, I'm a cop. I forgot. That's weird. Don't need that. So those 3 things, take out the cop, take out the sister, take out the reoccurring dream. You can show at the beginning like that's what happened. Take out the reoccurring part and that would have been cool. And then the movie, for me, would have went up a lot.
Yeah, because I thought that opening scene of his brother getting kidnapped very much explains his actions early in the film, and it's like, oh well, that's why he lost his job, and I don't mind him having a sister. It layered itself to be like that's somebody who's relying on him, so he needs to go get this job and kind of keep this job to have that support for her. But I didn't need her being as active in this, Five Nights at Freddy's, warehouse as she needed to be. Honestly, right. I'm with you. I'm either changing the aunt or I'm taking her out because it's ridiculous. I mean, changing her would do a lot better. I don't mind what's her name being in the film as the cop. I forget her name, but
Elizabeth Lair.
Elizabeth Lair. I don't mind her being in the film. I think her acting, from what I've seen, will lend her to do some kind of help, but just her character would have to completely change, or just make her a cop and have her have no connection and be. Yeah. It would make more sense because she does care about the kids in the film somehow, some way. If you think about it, it really doesn't make sense. But if she has this care for the kids, have her here to investigate what's going on and make it so she doesn't actually know, but she's been running this beat trying to figure it out because, I don't know, maybe her little brother or sister came up missing a long time ago. That's be something they can connect on, or something of that fate. The guy being her dad, makes no sense. So you have to change that character. And also, too, I think this would serve a lot better as a bottle film. Him leaving Five Nights at Freddy's or Freddy Fazbear's, leaving and coming back cuts all the tension in the movie because it's like, well, he's safe now. Okay, he's throwing himself back in danger, so now I don't feel danger for him because he's voluntarily going back to this place and bringing his little sister. So if he has somehow got like stuck in this place and had to survive, and then maybe the cop comes in and it's like, oh, he's trapped in here. Now let me try to help him and get out. Now maybe we're both stuck in here trying to figure out the situation, trying to dodge these animatronics. I think would have made for a far better film. And just that element of like not having the animatronics be so friendly towards little sister, I feel like it just cut the danger level that they were bringing. So that's some of the things I would do off bat just to change it and make it more of a horror suspense movie. And also, is this movie like 2 hours or close to 2 hours? It doesn't need to be that long.
I don't know. I don't know how long it was because
I'll check the runtime. I think it's close to like 2 hours, and I'm like at an hour 30, you should be.
Yeah, hour 20, hour 30, it would have been great. It would have been fine. I probably wouldn't even have that many complaints. But me sitting here watching, I was looking at my watch the whole time. I was like, yeah, just waiting for it to be over. Don't worry, but just waiting.
yeah, it's an hour 50 minutes. It doesn't need to be that long. So overall, that's probably some of the changes I would have. I mean, like I said, some people like it. I thought it was a train wreck of a film. It was probably on the bottom end of what I've seen this year. I mean, we don't have our list together for best of, worst of, but this would definitely make.
I don't count it on my worst of list because I usually don't try to put movies I know are going to be mediocre to bad in the movie. I have a lot of other big name movies on there this year that disappointed me so much that I wanted to cry. This one, when I saw it, I even told my girl, I was like, yeah, this is about right. This is about right. That's the first thing I said. Even when I texted you and I was trying to play devil's advocate for like an hour, I said, yeah, this seems about right.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, people like that. I was like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like, not what I saw. I'll stand on that trail of this. This is not a good movie. I don't care what you say. And if you like it, have fun, but it's not. You like it because you're a fan. You don't like it because it's a good movie.
Right. My final thoughts would be, first of all, this is a strikeout on our ranking system, 100%. Yeah. It's not worth the $5 matinee for me at all. It's not worth me. If I knew it was going to be, I still would have watched it because I like horror films, but I would have probably smoked something before I watched it. But there's no way. I watched that whole thing sober. I just was sitting there with my mouth open like, yeah, when's it going to be over? I'm just waiting. So yeah, final thoughts are, I'm not even going to say it could have been better. What I'm going to say is they could have put their money into another indie game that would have been a little bit better, like Outlast or Outlast, probably a good indie game they could have made. They could have made some good improvements on there and actually had an actual story. So Outlast or anything, really, and at this point, anything but this.
Yeah. You're wrapping up overall thoughts, man. The movie's made, it's done, it's in production, and it honestly is a box office success. So,
and there's two more. There's two more already coming out.
Yeah, so I'm sure everybody's happy who's in the production crew. I would just say you have two more movies coming out, man. Some of this stuff is very amateurish on being fixed of like it's easy fixes just to make it a decent film. I would say them making those mistakes and what I call mistakes and not having tension, not having actual horror element here in the horror movie, having storyline parts like the brother getting kidnapped and the reoccurring dream or the cop that are so stupid that it's like if I start to think about this, it just makes me angry. That little stuff is just a waste because I unlike you, I saw this trailer. I was excited. I'm like, okay, I've heard about the game. It has some lore around it. And, I want to see what they do when they bring it to the big screen, and maybe it'll make me go check out the game. And it did none of that. I was like, man, I ain't never playing this game. I'm never touching this, especially if it's like that. So I think they failed here. But I mean, money talks, and we've seen movies that are very bad and they make money and they'll make more. So hopefully in the second one they get it fixed. But yeah, and people don't know, Strikeout is the bottom of our scale. I mean, I'm thinking of adding a no contest for when people really go just mess up a film to the point, and this would have been up for that. But I got to talk to Scotty see if we can add that as a rating. So we'll figure that out. But yeah, it's the lowest of our scale. It's if you have no interest or knows it tied to the game, even if you like horror movies, this is not one I would recommend for you in any capacity, even if you're at home, unless you just want to laugh at something.
Yep. I agree with all that. Not even laugh, because I don't remember laughing at this movie.
No, you laugh after you like how bad was that?
After.
Like,
yeah, okay, there we go.
I'm laughing at the cop storyline as I think about it. I'm laughing talking to you after on how much of a train wreck this really was. That's at the time. You ain't gonna laugh during the movie. You're gonna be like, is this over yet? And
you're probably gonna cry.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So that's our spoiler talk for Five Nights at Freddy's. Obviously, we want your weigh in. So hit the comments, weigh in there. We also have our email, minorleaguefilms@gmail.com. So send us over. You send us your thoughts, and we'll talk about it. But Scotty, so we got some stuff coming up.
Wait, hold on now.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What? Go ahead. You were on something. No, you were on something.
No, I was just talking about we got stuff coming up. We're gonna do the Echo trailer had just dropped, so we're gonna tackle that next and get that knocked out. It should be up probably today. So we'll get that out the way, and we have more stuff coming for you. Scotty has said he wants to try to get 5 shows a week. I know we've been out for a while. We will see how that works, especially with my laptop issues. It makes it a little more difficult for us, but we're definitely get back to it, man. It's a lot of good movies. I wish we were a little more active on Halloween on the YouTube channel, but we were active on TikTok. So check that stuff out. And a lot of that goes up to YouTube Shorts. So if you don't have TikTok, just channel over to Shorts, and you'll see a lot of the same stuff in there. Try to change it, make it a little bit different to reward people who are on TikTok. But you can find our stuff. If you want to find it, you can find it, and definitely do that. We appreciate you.
Now, before we go, Darian.
I think my neighbor's dog weighed in and said, "Don't do it."
If they want to find you, where can they find you at?
Well, if you want to find me, I'm not hard to find. City Boy Quitting on Twitter. We also stream there. I will start streaming these live there on Twitter. So if you're there, you check it out and jump in, talk to us, all that good stuff on both Instagram and TikTok. Flyknit Johnson. Put some personal stuff up there, and I tend to do if you're just here on YouTube, I tend to do scene reactions. So I have some ridiculous scenes. I've done some on TikTok over there. So go check those out. I'll just laugh with you, and I'll do trailers sometimes too if they're up. So definitely do that. And then I'm here at Minor League Films, man. You can find me, tap in with us. We love talking movies with anybody. Scotty is very active on here as well with comic book stuff. So if you're into that too, tap in with him.
Now, tell the folks where you got City Boy Quitting from.
Oh man, I had City Boy Quitting as a line. It was well before was a City Boy is City Girl Summer. So I think I had that line in like 2010, I believe.
Tell them what city you're from.
That's a good question. That one you'll have to figure out on your own.
All right. And then you can find me on IG at, wow, mine just pops right up here. Okay. at Sky Get Down 1 or TikTok at Corona Comments. I'm booing on TikTok right now. I'm getting up there.
Yeah, TikTok famous. I see you.
I'm out here. I'm in the streets. You know. But all right.
But also hit that go. You can go and cue the theme music on low. To not be selfish. You've seen Scotty, you've seen me, you've seen where to find him, but find us both here on YouTube, Minor League Films. Our TikTok at Minor League Films, you can see there. A lot of good stuff going on there. We also have an Instagram. Don't keep it really active, but you can find us over there and talk to us. We're easy to find. We've had people DM me. We've had some movie combos up there. Those are also fun. But yeah, Minor League Films, we back, baby.
All right, we gone. Oh, why your stuff still at the bottom? See it. Let's take this off. Boom.